welcome to the Wizard of Radical Self-Respect. My name is Jared Mello. Today we're going to go over 6 common double standards narcissists like to use. And before I get into them, know if you hear these double standards, understand you are not crazy. The narcissist is absolutely gaslighting you and trying to manipulate you to get the attention off of their bad behavior and make you think there's a problem with you. A narcissist likes to think the best defense is a good offense. And if you hear these, don't ignore them. And it's like I always say, if you match someone's actions and they don't like it, watch out. That's a major red flag to not ignore. And it's like the Theo Von joke as well. If you could ever meet yourself, you'd hate it. This is absolutely true in these cases. The first double standard is, if you are to be flirting or even looking at another person, it's the end of the world. And the narcissist will call you all sorts of names and tell you you're a terrible person. Meanwhile, the narcissist is cheating and they're doing much, much worse than you. But if you even look at another person, let alone flirt with another person, they would make it seem like it's the end of the world and the most terrible thing. Don't ignore that double standard. Number 2, if you were to criticize the narcissist, that would also be the end of the world. If you point out something they have done wrong, or point out one of their shortcomings, or something they could be doing better, they will probably rage, gaslight, manipulate, flip the script, give you silent treatments, anything, and they will hate it, and they'll be really upset with you. But the narcissist is allowed to criticize you with impunity. They can say whatever they want. They can put you down, they can gaslight you, they can manipulate you, they can belittle you and your interests and your hobbies. They can do any of those things. But if you were to do the same, it would be the end of the world. That's why it's the second double standard to not ignore. Number 3 would be how you spend your money. The narcissist may be allowed to spend their money any way they want. They can make extravagant purchases. They can be frivolous with their money. They can waste money. They can spend money on gambling or addictions perhaps. But every cent that you spend will be micromanaged and under the microscope. And if you do anything that is considered wasteful by the narcissist, it would be the end of the world. And again, they'll rage. They will be extremely furious with you. But keep in mind what they are doing. They can spend money however they want, but you are not allowed to. That's why it's the third double standard to not ignore. And then same with your time. If you, whenever you try to do something fun for yourself, they will micromanage your time and how you do things. But the narcissist is allowed to do whatever they want with their time. They can spend their time however they want. And they can waste time, spend time with their friends, spend time with their hobbies, or whatever it is they might be doing. Though narcissists usually don't have too many hobbies. But they might be boozing, gambling, etc. But if you try to see a friend of yours one time, oh, what were you doing in that time? You could have been doing this. You could have been doing that. You could have been doing that for me. And again, it's the fourth double standard of ways that they will treat you in a way that they would never tolerate someone treating them that way. And the fourth way is with time. Your time is micromanaged. Their time, they can do whatever they want with that. The fifth double standard is about parenting. And the narcissist, especially if you've broken up or have divorced, they might criticize and micromanage every bit of your parenting. And they'll tell you, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you should be doing this for little Johnny or little Jenny. And meanwhile, though, when it comes to their parenting, they're extremely neglectful. Or maybe they're absent. Or maybe they might even be slightly abusive. But whatever it is, they are not a good parent. They're not a good parent, and they're going to try to weaponize kids against you. They might even try to file for custody when they don't even care. They're neglectful, and they do all sorts of things that if they ever caught you doing those things to the kids, it would be the end of the world, and they would try to weaponize them against you, and they might even try to file for custody or make false claims to CPS It's just another example of a double standard that they can treat the kids however they want, but you have to live by much different rules than them. That's why it's the fifth version of a double standard. And the sixth version of a double standard is when it comes to sex. When it comes to sex, they may want sex on demand, whenever they want it, and you might not even be allowed to say no. Or they'll make such a fuss about it, or they'll play the victim about it, and they will be such a headache and make such a fuss until you finally give in. And I've heard people say things like, it just became easier to give in. I got tired of saying no, and they wore you down. And eventually you said no. And again, just the fact that they're doing that is pretty freaking awful. No one deserves that, by the way. But on the flip side, if you ever want sex from them, they might say they're tired. They might say, I don't feel like it. That's why this is the sixth version of a double standard. It's rules for thee, but not for me. They can want sex whenever they want, but if you want sex even once, oh no, it's just the end of the world. And if you ever were to try to say no, they'll probably accuse you of cheating. You must be getting it somewhere else if you're not getting it from me. And it's just another example of, if you were to match their actions in this regard, it would be the end of the world. That's why these double standards, especially if you don't know about narcissism, there might be one of the big things that stand out in the beginning. They might catch someone's attention before they recognize what NPD is all about. They might recognize, oh, okay, when I want sex, it's a problem, but when they want sex, I better comply. Or they can spend money however they want, but when I try to do just one thing for myself, I'm a selfish, greedy person, and it's the end of the world. But these double standards are one of the things that can really stick out to people, and it's something to not ignore. And again, if when we match someone's actions and they don't like it, it's a big thing. Don't ignore that. And one of my next videos is going to be suggestions I would have to children of mine. If I have kids one day, what would I tell them about a toxic relationship? And we're going to go over that. But if you got this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you indeed liked the video. Comment below what you thought about it, any other common double standards that you think I missed, and please share this video with somebody else that you think might benefit. Maybe you know somebody that is experiencing one or more of these double standards, and this video could give them some clarity. Please share that video with someone like that if you know someone who's going through it. With that, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.